In this video, I'll be talking about the similarities of the signs of narcissism and how they are consistent with the signs of a hypocrite according to Islam. The Prophet ﷺ said that there are 4 signs of a hypocrite, and even if this person fasts and prays and claims to be a Muslim, he is a sheer hypocrite. And the first one is that when he speaks, he lies. The second sign is when he makes a promise, he breaks the promise. The third sign is when he's entrusted with something, he betrays the trust. And the fourth sign is when he's arguing, or when he's called out for his bad behavior, he behaves in a very obscene manner. These are signs that make a person, or these are the signs of a hypocrite. Now, in Islam, I don't want to get into this, the different types of hypocrisy. You got major hypocrisy and minor hypocrisy. So if a Muslim has these traits, then he has the traits of a hypocrite, or the traits of hypocrisy. The difference between major hypocrisy and minor hypocrisy, according to the scholars, is that major hypocrisy is someone who disbelieves in Allah, the prophets and messengers, the revealed books, the angels, the Day of Judgment, and so forth. But on the outside, they show that they believe that. But inwardly is the opposite. So outside they show that they're Muslims, that they believe in Allah, but inside they hate Allah, they hate the Prophet, and they hate Islam. That's a major hypocrite. A minor hypocrite is someone who has these traits that we mentioned. However, he believes in Allah inwardly and outwardly. However, outwardly isn't consistent with the belief. So these 4 traits are not consistent with the behavior or the manners of a Muslim. So when we look at narcissism, you know, they are compulsive or pathological liars. So, you know, when he speaks, he lies. That's what the Prophet ﷺ said, right? With narcissism, that's what they do. When they speak, they lie. They live in a false reality, you can say. And everything they say, most of the times, is either a lie, or it's twisted, it's bended, the truth is bended. And they do this, the reason why the narcissist lies is because they're living in this bubble, this false self, and you know, the lens that they see the world in is distorted, right? It's a place of defensiveness. It's a place of sensitive to criticism. It's a place of protecting themselves. Okay, so this bubble that they live in, or this lens that they wear, anything that happens, so this is in a way, you know, some people say that this is their reality. So they distort our reality, the normal reality, to match their false reality. Okay, so they lie to get their way. They lie because they're up to no good. They lie not to be found out. They might bend the truth to look like they are great, or greater than what they are, because of their low self-worth. They want to look great all the time. There's many reasons why they would lie. You know, if this is an example, if a narcissist was cheating and he was confronted, then, you know, the first thing he would resort to is lying. Even if you have all the proof, they would lie. Okay, and they would also, you know, you would be the one who ends up apologizing. You know, a healthy individual, you know, if they're caught doing something, if they're caught cheating, let's say, you know, they will feel very uncomfortable, and they will admit it, and they will, you know, talk about it, apologize, and do what's necessary. However, the narcissist will not take responsibility, become very defensive, and blow up, blame you. You know, you invaded my privacy, you looked at my phone, you know, you're crazy, you're snooping around too much, You know, what about you and all your faults? How about when you cheated? So they try to project. So they're caught cheating. So they'll say, well, what about when you cheated, when you spoke to that man that came home and fixed the electricity or whatever? You know, and then you get caught up in that fight. Well, that's not cheating. The man just came in and yeah, I didn't tell you, but it's not cheating. So now you're left. You took the bait. Okay, so now you went from talking about him cheating to you defending yourself about whether you cheated or not, right? So they lie. They just constantly lie, and this is consistent with the hadith. Narcissists are known to lie. Okay. The second trait is when he makes a promise, he breaks it. He breaks the promise. Similar to lying. When a narcissist makes a promise, they usually do so when the world is collapsing around them. Okay. So let's just say the partner, the wife wants to leave, and she's tried to leave many times. However, he may promise, you know, I'll be good, I'll change, or what have you. When he realizes that she's about to leave and his world is about to crumble, he would make a promise so that, you know, so that his wife doesn't leave. Because they don't like to be abandoned, they don't like their partners to leave them. So they'll make this promise, and what we see with narcissism most of the time is they make these promises, it lasts for about 2 or 3 weeks maximum until they go back to their old ways. So they might promise that, you know, I will delete these apps. I will delete, you know, if they was caught cheating, let's say on Tinder or Muslim Balut, I don't even know their names. Anyway, they will say, I will delete this stuff and I will not do it again. I promise, I promise, I promise. They will act sincere, maybe even shed a tear or two in order to gain control again. And then that lasts only a couple of weeks, right? And then they break that promise. So they go back on the apps, they do the same thing over and over again. Trait number 3 of hypocrisy is that when he is trusted with something, he betrays the trust. So how is that consistent with narcissism? You would see with narcissists that if you tell them a secret, if you tell them something that is private, if you tell them something that's confidential, they will tell those who they need to tell in order to gain popularity. Let's say, you know, you know, don't tell anyone I want to tell you this, but you know, and then they start, you know, talking about the secret. So they do it to gain, let's say, popularity. If the narcissist has a narcissistic parent, let's say a narcissistic man is the son of a narcissistic mother who controls him, he will tell his mother all the secrets of his wife, even the stuff in bed and private matters. We see this a lot, especially with vulnerable narcissists. So they are pretty much narcissists who struggle to show how amazing they are, like like their counterparts. The grandiose narcissist makes it very clear that he's great, you know, but the vulnerable struggles with that. So they do, you know, they gain their admiration and what have you through breaking promises to win people over and make them feel validated. Okay. So when he's trusted, you know, with something, he betrays that trust. Other ways of betraying the trust is the marriage. You know, let's just say, you know, narcissists, a lot of them are prone to cheating. Not all of them. You know, we're not saying all narcissists cheat, but a lot of them do cheat. Okay, betrayal. And, you know, marriage is a trust, and they betray that trust through cheating. The last trait is when he argues or when he's called out on his bad behavior, he behaves, you know, in a treacherous way, in a very obscene, aggressive way. And this is exactly what a narcissist is. You call them out on a behavior. They're very sensitive to criticism. Very sensitive to criticism. So if you pull them up on something, they will become highly defensive. They will become even, you know, they might even rage with anger, and they will blame you. They will swear at you, they will manipulate you, and they will say all sorts of hurtful things because you call them out. So these are the 4 signs of hypocrisy that are pretty much consistent with the signs of a hypocrite. So as Muslims, what do? We need to be careful that we don't have these 4 traits. If you have one of them, I mean, if you have one of them, doesn't mean you're a narcissist. This is not what I'm doing here, right? I am not diagnosing, I'm not saying people who have these 4 traits are narcissists with that disorder, but however, they are traits of narcissism as well. That's what I'm trying to say, that the signs of hypocrisy, according to Islam, are also the signs of a hypocrite, according to literature and what we know of them. So as a Muslim, you need to stay, far away from lying. Never break your trust. If someone, speaks to you confidentially, entrusts you with something, you never ever break that trust. It's an amana. And when you speak, you never lie, never break your promises. And if you're arguing, don't resort to verbal abuse, aggressive behavior, and the likes. Okay. So I hope you found this video to be helpful. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section.